Hello, one. Hello, all. Welcome to the first, maybe the only. What I did a couple of years back for the countdown to Force Awakens was a series of streams where we just kind of fangirled out. But this year, luckily, I finally have somebody who's I would consider quite the Star Wars aficionado, which we weren't really. I don't think we had known each other back then, right, Luke?
No, I remember catching up on those streams, so yeah.
Yeah, so it's good to finally have Luke available to do this version of stream. And
yeah, I think we did like one of those defending the Force Awakens streams at one point.
Post release, yeah. Right? Yeah. So Luke from Razor Wire Reviews. Luke, say hello. Sorry.
Hello, sorry.
So this is we're just gonna hype and speculate, just mishmash all the bullshit that has been on the internet for the last however long. What are you expecting, Luke? Are you expecting? All right, so let me rephrase that. How pleased were you with Force Awakens against your hype?
It over-delivered, which I thought would, I was surprised that was even possible. And I was really trying not to get too excited for The Force Awakens, because it's a dangerous thing when you're dealing with nostalgia with excitement. Mm-hmm. If it's like the latest Planet of the Apes movie, you can be really excited for that. There's not too much banking on it. Yeah, the previous films were good, but it can be what it is. But with Star Wars and something that, if you grew up with it and it's a childhood thing, nostalgia, very dangerous, because they're dealing with your precious characters that you love so much. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, The Force Awakens over-delivered, and we talked all about the defending of it and all that kind of stuff. And
yep. I'm right there with you. I mean, I was excited for a myriad of reasons, and then I would say, Star Wars is about oohs and ahs. I feel like yeah, they're just movies, but they're a bit more of a spectacle. And the moment where, the original trilogy, there's dozens of those moments. The prequel trilogy, when Darth Vader had, Darth Maul had the double-ended lightsaber. That was like this is unique. This is different. And then, sure enough, within 20 minutes of Force Awakens, when Kylo Ren freezes the laser shot, I was mouth agape, and I was like, all right, I'm in. And it's like you said, it over delivered. People who compare it to Episode 4, sure, I can understand that, but is that really a problem? If they are just straight riffing on the original trilogy and The Last Jedi ends up being a bootleg Empire, how do you feel about that?
I just want to put that on hold for just a second, because there's one thing I want to mention in relation to the idea of Star Wars being about wow moments.
Okay.
Not many people would say this. I know a lot of people hate this scene, but in Attack of the Clones, when Yoda whips out that lightsaber, I remember there was such excitement before that film came out. I was a teenager when Attack of the Clones came out. I was 14. Yeah, 14. And I remember being the idea of, is there going to be a Yoda lightsaber sequence? And they released a novelization, which spoiled that there would be. So I knew there was going to be a Yoda lightsaber fight, and I was waiting for this moment. And you can say whatever you want about that scene. I'm not going to defend it, but when I was in that cinema, it's one of the most memorable experiences I've ever had watching a film, because everyone was so surprised to see him flipping around like a little thing that there was the whole room didn't intake a breath, and it was like this shockwave that traveled through all of the rows. It was like everyone just couldn't believe what they were seeing. So yeah, whether that scene worked or not, just those reactions and again, wow moments, for good or bad.
Yeah, the applause for the Lucasfilm logo, like it's just like.
That's the only time I've ever experienced clapping in a film, was at the end of Force Awakens. I know that it's more common in America, from what I've heard.
I just sat through Disaster Artist.
Where I bet I could see that. Yeah. Bravo.
Yeah.
Citizen Kane stuff.
Yeah, just marks for everything about the room.
Right. So the Empire Strikes Back
Okay.
comparison to,
Mm-hmm.
I think that, yeah, I give the people who say about The Force Awakens and A New Hope following fairly similar. I mean, there's still different characters and situations. If they do the same thing with Last Jedi, I think it's a problem, because then you're just kind of, I don't know, I think it needs to break out a bit more than that. But it seems inevitable in a sense, because we know that Rey has got to train, and Luke is going to be there. But Luke's not Yoda at the same time, right? And she's not finding Luke in the middle of the film. So already there's a difference there. But it does seem like it's going to be our main hero training to become the thing that they have shown the promise for in the first movie,
Right.
while their friends are off on their own adventure fighting the Empire / First Order. So it seems like it's going to follow that similar blueprint. But and I have my own ideas about another thing that might tie into Empire Strikes Back. But the less, the better. But I think this is going to be inevitable in some senses.
Well, let me play devil's advocate for a second. If it does indeed follow the same path, parallel, whatever, what is the Han getting I guess play out the ending of, because Empire was such a downer, like it was such a downer ending.
Rey, I reckon.
Well, Rey getting.
Yeah, that's part of my not frozen in carbonite. No, my idea is that I think that where they might go with it, and it's just a stab in the dark. It's not like I'm like, this is what's going to happen, but I think what they could do is end the movie where Rey has been compromised by Snoke, and it's up to Kylo to bring her back in the next one. I think that's probably where it could go.
Huh. Okay, and what about Finn?
I'm not sure about Finn.
See, I would think if this is only if they're doing the Empire thing, I think Finn gets captured again. Like they have to go get Finn and
it's possible, but then I don't know. I feel like the stakes would be bigger. But I mean, who knows? Who knows where they're going to go with it? And that's the thing I'm really excited about, is I really don't know.
So why don't we get this shit out of the way nice and early? Rey, the Rey area, they've she's been called a Mary Sue quite a bit. If there's any gripe that I've read more than anything is just how flawless Rey is. Do you think that gets fixed? Do you think we see more of that? I mean, I don't think that. I think she's quite a well fleshed out character, and we're still only 1/3 through her story. But do you think maybe they appease these idiots?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
If so, how?
It's unavoidable, I think, because the first film, I mean, people seem to forget that when she was faced with the beginning promises of her destiny, when she finds out lightsaber, she rejects it. She runs away from it. She's scared of it, and then she gets captured. You know, how is she putting every foot right in that situation? But you know, I think the idea with The Force Awakens was that she has this incredible amount of power. And that's what I thought was so cool about the duel with Kylo, because it should have been a walkover, but it wasn't, which showed that he was all front, or at least partially front, you know, and that he wasn't as great as he's making himself out to be with this image that he's projecting.
And injured. Right,
yeah, true. Yeah, he'd been shot in the stomach with this bowcaster. But then, you know, Rey is just this raw power that is untapped and will be the central focus of this whole trilogy. But with The Last Jedi, this is where the conflict is really going to set in. What that conflict is, I don't know, but she's going to have to go through some shit. We've already seen in the trailers. She seems keen to be, you know, tutored by Luke, and he seems keen to maybe not. You know, this isn't going to go the way you think. It seems like it's going to be a tempestuous relationship. So conflict is going to come out of that, and you know.
Yeah, people forget that Luke made a 1 in a million shot at the end of his first movie, and there was nothing wrong with that. And I'm not trying to like nitpick. I'm fine with Luke. I'm not trying to call him a Mary Sue, but to call Rey that is just so ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree. But it's the dumb thing, is that when something gets really popular, it's let's analyze how it's.
Yeah, yeah. There is, I don't know how much of trailers you've seen or what, but there is a shot of her seemingly being force held upside down, and she's like
Yeah,
screaming.
that's in the main trailer. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is at. So I did a little bit of homework. That looks like the throne room of Snoke.
Yeah, it's a kind of red room.
Mm-hmm.
It looks pretty cool. But yeah, that seems pretty obvious. That's what's going down, and that I mean, Force Awakens. Was the line he said? If what you said about that girl is true, bring her to me. So Snoke wants to, he wants her for something. So
Yeah. See, if there another thing to go back to the following the original trilogy storyline, we already had our Emperor character. Like by the logic, we would be getting a new, larger, higher up character in the Sith land for this movie, which I don't think.
no, I think he's positioned to be the big bad.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So based on anything you've read as far as speculation, is any of it sticking out to you? Does any of it seem far? What's the most far-fetched thing you've read so far?
I'm really trying to stay away. With the Force Awakens, and we're going to keep going back to that, obviously, because it's very linked. But I remember reading that it was going to end with a shot of a helicopter shot of an island with Luke and Rey on it, and I thought, well, that can't be true. I've read that 3 months before the film came out. There's no way that's happening, and it fucking happened. So I'm trying to stay away from any kind of well, in terms of site posts and stuff. But what people think, I don't know. I think the most really is to do with Rey and her parents, and
she's Palpatine,
right? That, or the Kenobi thing. That's really the lengths of it. But as for the film itself, I don't know. Yeah, and the Snoke, I think I read an interview with Andy Serkis, and he said something alluded to the fact that this wasn't some previous character. So I don't think it should be either, because that's
so
just
our hopes of him being a survived Source Bantheim is just
Master Skywalker.
There were too many of them.
What are we going to do? The flinch.
The shoulder flinch. So go ahead and spin off. And who do you think Rey is related to? Do you think she's her own thing? It can't be, right? I mean,
how long have we got?
Go ahead, run amok.
To me, she's Luke's kid. And there are people who say that that's too obvious, that that's too, cheesy or whatever. And to that, I just say, look at The Empire Strikes Back. Look at that film everyone hails as this great film. Look at the ending of that movie. I am your father. Like, if you just boil that down, what is it? That's a cheesy soap opera kind of, no, I'm your father, But because the story's so good and the characters are so great, it works. It doesn't matter if it's something that's, it's too predictable, I don't think that really matters. It's how you do it. If we open Last Jedi and Luke goes, oh yeah, you're my daughter, by the way. Yeah, I met this girl on Tatooine, and then yeah, it doesn't really work that well. But if you build it up throughout the film, and it means something when they find out, or whatever, however it gets delivered, then it could make the drama that could already be really good even better. So it's about helping it to serve the story. But yeah, the idea that she's no one is just questionable. Why would they withhold that last name? With Finn, he had no names. It makes sense. With her, it's just Rey, just 3 letters. There's a reason they're holding that back. They even talk about, I think J.J. Abrams said, well, you already find out who her parents are in The Force Awakens, I thought. Even Daisy said, well, I thought it was obvious from The Force Awakens.
Well, you know what? If it's going to follow the Empire, Snoke would be her father in the Empire parallel. No.
Yeah, and that would be, and that's the example of where I think it would just go too far in copying those beats. I think.
I've read something where Snoke is he has Luke's DNA or something. What did I read? Somebody has DNA from Luke because of his hand.
Right.
It's like, what?
Huh. See, that's another thing that I think Ryan Johnson was saying is, talking about Snoke and, where's he from? Who is he? And Ryan said, well, what did you know about the Emperor in the original trilogy? What did you know for those 15 years following? It wasn't like everyone watched Return of the Jedi in 1983, like, oh, I wish we could have seen him in the Senate. Oh, give us the politics backstory, for fuck's sake. Yeah, good. It's fun and entertaining, but where's that politician background? We really want to see all that.
The Force is strong with you. There's actually a question in the chat. Movie Mania asks, what do you guys think about Ben Solo being secretly on the side of good because he's constantly fighting the light and Snoke can sense it? He have killed Han. He could have killed Han. Oh, wait, because the Force moves darkly around a person who's about to kill or has killed, a good way to hide the light in him. So Snoke can only sense the dark. I think Ben is probably tortured. I think there's a lot of shit going on with Ben, and I think he's a fun character so far. If people call him a whiny bitch, but that's what I wanted episode 2, 3 Anakin to be. I feel like what we got from Adam Driver in Force Awakens is what I would have wanted Anakin to be in 2 or 1, the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy.
Yeah, I think he's great. I love the character of Kylo Ren. I think that he's a better villain than Vader in the sense that he with Vader it's more of a cool character. He's just badass, whereas Kylo there's this unhinged kind of dangerous quality to him. But also, I just love that whole thing in The Force Awakens where he's like, I feel it again, the pull of the light. It's just cool, different, and that's got to play into it somehow, obviously. But it's possible the whole double agent thing's being pulled, but I don't know, I'm not sure about that. But like I said, even if it's predictable, it depends how they do it.
That's some hardcore shit that he did at the end of Force Awakens to.
Well, you can look at it. You can look at it where he kills him and he says thank you, and then Han kind of just caresses his face. I mean, you could work it within that story, but I'm not sure with that one, to be honest.
Yeah, that's hardcore. That's that's the. I dig it. It's just yeah. There's a theory that I've read that Ben and Rey swap, and by the end of Last Jedi, that Ben is the good guy and Rey has gone over to the dark side.
Right. Okay. So I've got my own thinking on this, right? And I think that could happen, but not to the black and white degree as it's made out. I feel like Rey's relationship with Luke will be key to the film, and will probably end up in pushing her to one way or the other. And I have a feeling that she might go to Snoke out of anger, maybe desperation, whatever. And I could see it to be where she needs to be saved in episode 9, and Kylo needs to be the one to bring her back. But to the point where he's trying to be good again. He's trying to switch sides, but no one is ever going to accept him after what he's done, the massacres. And so ultimately it could be this story of redemption for Kylo where he does all the right moves, but he can't achieve it because he's just gone too far. And this kind of tragic story. That could happen.
If they could pay off Vader, I think Kylo is salvageable. I mean,
but it would need to be a continual thing, whereas Vader was very right at the last minute almost, which worked up to a point. But you need to.
A bit of retconning too. Yeah, all the terrible things was in episode 3.
But you need to do the more continual thing, a different way of redeeming. But I don't know. I would like to see it where he tries to redeem himself, but doesn't in the end because he's just gone too far. But we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah. What about Kylo just going full bore dark side? And I mean, they've teased it. They've manipulated via editing, making it seem like he's about to shoot a ship that his mother is in.
Yeah, I said that just after The Force Awakens. I said, I'd be on board with him just kill Luke, kill Leia, just like, just be the biggest heel in the history of movies and just and kill the. I mean, why not? If you're going to go down that route, but I mean, they've shown a lot of conflict in him already, and I don't know. It depends where it goes in the next one, but that's another thing. Is
leads to suffering. I'm sorry, you were talking.
I go off track. I mean, we're still talking about Rey and her parents. I didn't really finish my thoughts on that. So yeah, the idea of her being no one, I think, is just, it's all about the destiny. It's all about her, being this quasi chosen one. The lightsaber calls to her, So to me, there's only two choices. There's a third, like, outside chance where she's a Kenobi, right? Which is a popular theory. I love how, like, some of the main arguments for that is, well, she has a British accent. Oh, well, then it must be true.
Confirmed.
Oh, she has a similar outfit. Wow, Ray, the clothes you're wearing. Yeah, I feel like, someone in my family might have worn them at some point. So no.
Hello there.
Right, but the fact is, he did talk to her in that vision. That's something, but I don't feel like it's enough. And I feel like a connection to him is just a bit too off point, I feel like that's just going a bit too far back. It needs to be more in the present. And in that sense, she's either Leia's daughter or she's Luke's daughter.
What's the movie we're getting between 8 and 9?
Solo.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Forgot about that.
So the theory that she's Leia's daughter. What do you think? I'll just throw it to you.
She's got to be. See, I would love for them to retcon the Yoda line. No, there is another. And people always say, well, if it was Leia, why wouldn't Obi-Wan know that? Or because, like, the retconning of the retconning of the retconning, because Obi-Wan was with both kids and he would know. I would feel better if they kind of made it some sort of thing that, just vaguely connected to that Yoda line. No, there's another, and have it be somebody that Ben wouldn't know anything about. If it's Luke's daughter, whatever. But if they just somehow make it that she's the other, I'm okay with whatever you want to tell me. I'm open for it, but just connect it to that so that, I don't know. There's that one gripe that people have. Like Obi-Wan would know if it were Leia, because. So yeah, I can understand that. So just fix that one little line. It's so easy to do it now. Just fix that and make it.
There's a lot more to fix in that original trilogy.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
No.
Is Padme all right? It seems in your anger, you. Rey is Palpatine's granddaughter. I've read that quite a bit too.
Nah. Again, and one of the big arguments for that was the way that she wields a lightsaber. Like, really? Like, oh yeah, it's going to be this genetic DNA thing where they do the forward slashing. No, come on. Right. So Leia's daughter. To me, if it was revealed she's Leia's daughter, that makes The Force Awakens a worse film. Like, it will harm it for me. Because, I mean, just in Leia's character, it makes no sense. Look at where she is in The Force Awakens. She's the leader of the Resistance. She's doing what she's always doing. She's, standing firm, and she's fighting the good fight. She wouldn't send her daughter off to middle of nowhere. She'd keep her with her and protect her herself. Luke, on the other hand, has gone into exile. He's turned his back on everything. What fits? And when Leia and Rey meet at the end of the film, they don't say anything. They just hug. And that ain't a hug of a mother who hasn't seen her daughter in 10 years. But there is a familiar feeling to the hug. There's a familial feeling to the hug. And so I like to think that perhaps there's this sense between the two of them that they're closely linked somehow. So yeah, I just, and you can say maybe it was Han and Leia's, maybe Leia was someone else because we don't know the timelines and things like that. But I think that it's it just makes Leia come off as very strange if that was the case.
Dennis says last movie, yeah, a new trilogy already happening after 9. It's not going to happen anytime soon. I don't know. I don't think the new trilogy is 10, 11, 12. I think it's something different,
it's
right?
Completely new story outside of the Skywalker thing.
Lineage. What if she is the Force? Kind of the Borg queen.
Oh, tell a lie. I do have an outlandish theory that I've heard, and it is that she is Anakin. Yeah. It's a theory that she is the Force being that was, the Immaculate Conception reincarnated,
Wow. Reincarnated, huh? That's
reincarnated.
Ray. Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. How do you feel if it turns out that Finn and Poe are the galaxy's first homosexual couple?
It's interesting to see, because that takes it all the way, well, not all the way, but back to The Force Awakens with all the bullshit about Rey being the main character, Disney with their feminist agenda. I love the fact that Rey was the lead character. I love the fact that we got a female lead character, not because I was sat there thinking, why can't we have a female, but because, oh, that's different. That's it. Men and women are different, and it's just a nice change, just a different change of pace, a different flavor. I'd have no problem with it. I'm sure there'd be people who would criticize it for, I mean, that's the age that we live in. People aren't really ready to accept it too much. You look at Moonlight, people still saying, well, the only reason it won the Oscar is because it's about black men and homosexuals. I don't know. It's just a great film to me. But I think people are going to criticize either way. And then you got the interracial thing, so that would really really spark something, wouldn't it?
Cover it all in one base right there.
I think it's it's that Lucky game in The Force Awakens when he bites his lip and people have you seen that?
Bites his lip? No.
Yeah. When Poe and Finn meet at the end, and he's like, oh, because obviously he thought he was dead, and he says, "You got my jacket on." And he's like, "Oh, it looks good on you." And he bites his lip a little bit.
Oh no!
And people slow mo it, and they put like the that Ferris Bueller thing on. What was it? Oh yeah.
Well, you know what? I think if you're talking about the first homosexual couple, I think Rogue One kind of jumped the gun a bit without really doing it, without really covering it and getting deep into it. I think Chirrut and why is his name slipping my mind?
Baze something.
Yeah, their relationship was awfully close.
I suppose. Yeah.
Do people need to be coupled up? Like, I don't understand. Like, what?
No. I mean, I could see if Finn and Rey did something that it would be the same kind of, you'd have the people loving it and the people criticizing it. So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't in that case.
Luke was hot for his sister for one movie, so I mean, do we really need to have the stereotypical boy girl?
That's what we should have had in the special edition, is when Luke finds out from Obi-Wan that Leia's his sister. He's like, hang on a second, we just have the Ace Ventura scene with the plunger.
Exactly. It's just there's so much focus on stupid shit. Like, is the story good? Is the movie good? Who fucking cares what's going on in the movie? Like, I don't get it. It's too much like Episode 4. Did you like Episode 4? Yeah. Okay. So what's the problem? Anakin went through a slight transition in the reincarnation process. A little bit, yeah. He lost some parts and gained some parts. There have been murmurings about a homosexual character in Last Jedi, but I'm not sure if they meant the new character or pre-established. Yeah, I think I heard about that too. if Finn and Poe are gay, there won't change anything for me. Yeah, no, I don't blame you. Movie Mania says R2D2 and C3PO are very close, and maybe they are gay. Yeah, yeah.
But do robots even have a gender?
Oh, good point.
See, there was an argument about that. Do you remember this before Force Awakens came out? Someone was saying BB-8, the first female droid, and they're like,
What?
"Oh yeah, it's a female and all that." And then yeah, like, okay,
Okay. Yeah. What do you think happens with Leia? One way or knowing what the story is with Carrie Fisher, do you think maybe she dies? Like maybe that was the plan all along, and
well, I don't know. Well, it's hard to believe what they say with these things because the public word was, Han was a big part of Force Awakens. Luke is obviously a big part of The Last Jedi. I mean, it's basically titled Star Wars Luke Skywalker.
mm-hmm.
They said that Leia was going to be, a central part of Episode 9, and you could argue that being a Skywalker, she could die in The Last Jedi and be a big part of 9 in the Force ghosty kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
But I watched a lot of the celebration stuff when they do that event, and they live stream all these interviews and panels and stuff. And there was one interview Carrie did, and I guess it was last year, and she was like, "Yeah, we're doing 9 next summer and stuff." And she was talking about getting ready to do it. So I mean, she was definitely figured into it in some way. So I don't know what that means, if it speaks to whether she'll die or not. But the word is from Rian Johnson that he hasn't changed anything. So they haven't kind of done any trickery or changed plans as far as 8 is concerned.
That's quite ominous one way or another. It
is, right? Yeah.
You haven't changed anything?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. See, that would make me think that maybe she does die in the movie. Like,
it's possible.
And that's just I don't know. Do you think they'll try to connect the Star Wars galaxy to Earth someday?
Nope.
Oh, yeah, because it's a long time ago. There'd be dinosaurs and shit over here. What do you think about Finn? What do you?
I like Finn. He's entertaining. I could see it. I could see him rubbing people the wrong way, just from the way his character is in The Force Awakens. But I'm looking forward to seeing him again. But I don't have much of a stake in his character, really. I mean, again, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next with him. But I have the feeling that during all of his scenes, I'll be thinking, "Let's get back to Luke." But that's just me. And Poe, I find Poe, because that's a character that was supposed to die originally, which is really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And how basically, JJ just enjoyed what he did and made him a part of the whole trilogy, I guess, by extension of keeping his character alive. It's fight with Phasma looks cool, I guess. Yeah.
What about them, Phasma and Hux?
Phasma. That was one of my gripes after I first saw the film, was that Phasma had been built up in the promotion. It's like, female stormtrooper, silver armor, badass as fuck. This is great. And then she's in the movie for about 3 minutes and gets to do nothing at all. And just right. I always stand by that. I don't get the Boba Fett thing. He looks cool. That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
Not the biggest Boba Fett mark. I understand why people like him, but I don't understand why people like him that much.
Yeah.
Like he's some legendary character. But yeah. I met the guy who played him. He's very nice. Good chap.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He had one push, and then
he got buried in the solid. And the fucking insistence of the fans, he didn't die in the Sarlacc.
Oh,
he could have fought his way out.
Yeah, if like that, I mean, if for as much as that, like I'm the same way with Darth Maul. Well, there's still hope, and I guess they I'm not very familiar with the cartoons and all that
Oh,
shit, but apparently they brought him back.
The canon thing is that he survived, I guess. But
yeah. Hux?
No real opinion, I guess. I was wondering whether he would come back based on the end of The Force Awakens. It didn't show whether he got out in time, but I like Donald Gleason, but you know, actually no, I like the speech he gives in The Force Awakens. It's pretty good, but yeah, I'm not, it's not a character I have too much stock in, I guess.
There's just enough camp in it for me too. It's
yeah,
just...
a little bit. Yeah, it's kind of reminiscent.
Mm.
And keeps up the good tradition of British actors playing the Imperial slasher First Order bad guys. Always the Brits.
I'm intrigued by the casino scene, which if you're watching trailers, you've seen nothing. But if you're into the internet news, that's all they have pictures of is this alleyway where everybody's decked out and
Canto Blight.
Oh, look at that! You know the name of the place.
Yeah.
Filmed in the Czech Republic, right?
No, Croatia.
Croatia. I knew it was a C word.
Yeah. And I love how, I'm not sure if it was in Croatia or Ireland, but they built half of the Falcon on this fucking rocky precipice over. I'm just like, you don't need to do that. You in this age of CGIing everything, you don't need to build half the Millennium fucking Falcon on a cliff top overlooking the sea. But I fucking love that they did it anyway.
Do you guys read any of the comics and book for the new canon?
No.
I own, what was the thing that was released last year? White cover. They've had a sequel to it since, oh boy, I own it. I don't know where it is because I have so much stuff in so many different places, but I have one of the books I never got around to reading.
I read 3 of the ones leading up to The Force Awakens, but they were kind of like adventures of Luke, Han, and Leia around original trilogy time, bookended by them in Force Awakens period, which didn't really give too much away, especially Luke. There was nothing on Luke, but I think Han was just in some bar and he overheard someone talking about the Millennium Falcon. And he couldn't resist kind of poking his head in and let me tell you a story about but yeah, there's a lot of books coming out. I just haven't got time for it,
Yeah, it's a lot. And it starts spreading out. It's just like, all right, well.
Yeah, if you want to inject like another 3 hours into my day every day, then sure, I'll give it a shot. But otherwise, for like younger people, it's great. Kids and stuff, teenagers.
Yeah, I do wish I was
immerse yourself
14 today, with all the material to soak up. Do you guys read? Oh wait, Boba's going to be in Luke's next marathon. Haha. Is it episode? No, you're on 7. You're on the Force Awakens of your marathons, actually.
How do I know that was Dennis's comment?
Do you think Hux might be a Force user in training with Snoke?
Nope.
Next question. Gwen Christie was disgracefully wasted in Awakens. Yes. And no, I have never, ever got this Boba Fett fetish. The Boba fetish, if you will.
I don't mind what they did there in The Force Awakens. It's the fact that it was hyped up so much beforehand. But also I think that it was very unceremonious at the end where they allude to dumping her in the garbage compactor or whatever it was. And I think that's one of the bits of The Force Awakens I didn't love. A bit too much into the, a bit too on the nose. When Han's over, they got a trash compactor. The original movie, I know. Yeah, 12 parsecs, right?
More than 12 systems. I have some of the Poe comics, pretty fun. I also have Before the Awakening book, which I still need to read. Put The Last Jedi connected to Luke Skywalker book on my Christmas list since I'm a Luke fan. That's a lot of coverage there. Daniel Hammond says, I think Luke and Leia will both die and I'll be pissed. Haha, killing off all the main characters. What, in Jedi? In Last Jedi?
See, that'd be interesting.
That'd be intense.
I would love the balls of that because you would have that setup. You'd have them to bolster the new cast in 7 and 8, and then 9, they stand on their own. That would be cool. I don't think they'll do it though. I think that's too much. But I'd like the idea of it. You know,
I like the idea of it too, and I can almost. That's where I can see Rey and Kylo teaming up. Like Luke gets killed somehow, but maybe Snoke is responsible for Leia getting killed, and that pisses off Kylo to some degree. Or
that's a good idea. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah,
like, yeah, and then them two against Snoke for Episode 9.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind that.
But I think it would be more of a journey if Rey turned at the end, and so it was Kylo who had to try and bring her back in 9, and then they have to team. I don't know. I'm much more excited about Episode 9 now that I know that JJ's doing it. When they announced that they were shit-canning Terrar, I was like, oh, thank you, God. Not that he's terrible, but I wasn't the biggest fan of how he dealt with another sequel. Yeah.
Do you mean the true sequel to Jurassic Park, sir? Is that what you're referring?
Yeah.
Yeah, it only made $1 billion, and everybody was hating it before it got released. But
it's a good film.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it too. But yeah. When he was being interviewed after Jurassic World, he said, "Yeah, I'd like to go back and do some independent stuff for a little bit." 2 months later, it signed on for Episode 9. Well, that's not exactly independent.
Well, that's the one thing we can talk about is the Rian Johnson thing. I mean, if you look at all the new Star Wars directors, except for JJ, I suppose. Well, Gareth Edwards, but apparently there was some shaky stuff going on. But they've not had the best run of things. They had Josh Trank, who seemed to do himself no favors and got canned. And then you had Phil Lord and Christopher Miller. That's still fucking crazy to me that they shot for months and months before that happened. And then Trevorrow as well. But Rian Johnson, be given the keys to the kingdom.
Yeah.
Do a trilogy for us. He finished the film 2 months before release. When does that ever happen with a big budget special effects film? I think that it was the second Hobbit film. Peter Jackson was still in the sound mixing the day of the premiere.
Wow.
No, I think that's one of the early showing premieres, but nonetheless, right to the wire. But I remember hearing that he'd finished it in October, and I was like, "Well, finished it." Wow.
Yeah, previs visual finished it, right? Not finished. No,
yeah, completely finished.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, the whole film locked like 2 months ago. Oh, yeah, pretty much 2 months ago.
CGI'd up and everything, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
The full deal.
Good for him. Well,
yeah.
Good. And they haven't been tweaking, huh?
Yeah, that's the thing. There was no reshoots, or at least nothing extensive.
Couldn't push up that release date, though, huh? I see how it is. They're totally killing Chewie now, and it's all my fault. Hey, what? Oh, I've noticed no one's properly concerned about Chewie. What about Chewie? No.
He's
Hashtag
evergreen.
don't kill Chewie.
He's evergreen. Someone asked me that in my stream last night. It's just, there's no reason for it. It's a character you can keep going. The guy who plays him now is fairly young, and he was working closely with Peter Mayhew to get the mannerisms and stuff. I feel like that's a character. Well, he's got to be in the Han Solo movie, right? So yeah, no, there's no reason to do that. I think that's just, killing someone like Luke is big, but it can serve the story,
Dennis says Carrie saying they were getting ready to shoot 9 before she died could just be her saying that not to spoil she dies in Jedi. That's a good point.
Wow. It is Carrie Fisher, though.
Do we have Harrison Ford saying that he was getting ready for 8 at any point?
No. Oh, they did say, I think about a week after The Force Awakens came out, Episode 8 is coming out in whenever, and here's the cast, and they put Harrison Ford in that. But that could have just been a placeholder to not spoil the...
Okay. Just my opinion, but characters are more important than actors. I would have no issue with the recasting of Leia.
No chance. That's... Well, I mean, you can have your opinion, but to me, I think Carrie was just such a, it's no.
If Leia's in 9, they've already CGI'd her. You might as well just...
They've already announced that they won't do that.
Well, then she can't be in 9.
Right, yeah. It's... recasting it, it's I mean, they're already talking about looking for someone to play Luke in another match. Like, wait, just leave it. Just leave it. You don't. Yeah, okay. Sebastian Stan looks a little bit like him, but really need to base a movie off that. I don't know.
I thought it was awesome that Abrams put the Wolfman back in Star Wars in The Force Awakens. Lucas had to Lucas had to cut that character from his original film because he was getting sued for using the Wolfman. Wolfman. Yeah, I'm lost, Daniel. I'm sorry. Well, we're both lost, which for me that's not easy, not hard, but for Luke that's kind of difficult. Do you believe that Snoke might end up being Darth Plagueis all along? Oh yeah, I've read that quite a bit.
Have you ever heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the
Wise? Oh, I'm sorry.
Is it possible to learn this power?
Not from a Jedi. Best scene in that movie. I'm sorry.
Yes, absolutely. It's incredible. I love it.
So, yes, no.
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 I think well, again, there's the thing. People say shit, but it could be wrong. But I think Andy Serkis has said he's not an existing character, and he's been around a while, but I don't know. It's interesting because if he is this big, powerful thing, then how do you explain him not being a part of? So it's be interesting to see if they handle his backstory, but they don't have to at the same time, much like the Emperor, I suppose. But given the fact that we have seen all these previous movies, I guess it does beg the explanation. But they've kind of hinted, from what I've read, that there won't be any big kind of Snoke reveal or much information at all. So.
Oh, it's extremely hard to find from the original cut. The original cut has Wolfman in it. Lucas replaced him with a CGI creature. Abrams put him back in the bar scene in Force Awakens. That's some deep cut Easter egg shit right there.
Wow, he called the planet Starkiller base. I mean, makes sense.
I tend towards Luke's vision of the 9th movie. We can't have Rey and Kylo on the same side because the dark side becoming less interesting and arguably unpowered. I tend towards Luke's vision of the 9th movie. We can't have Rey and Kylo on the same side because the dark side becomes less interesting and arguably underpowered. Well, what if Snoke is like the Emperor times 10? Like,
well, I can see Kylo and Rey teaming up, but not in a long-term sense. In a kind of heat of the moment sense. But yeah, I don't know. There's the whole thing with Luke saying the Jedi must end, and that's probably some sort of it needs to evolve and perhaps embrace both sides in some sense. That's another theory as well, which I think isn't that outlandish. It's an interesting concept.
I've seen a theory that they want to abolish, or at least Luke or somebody wants to abolish the light and dark, and that the Force is more about the balance. Movies aren't about. Well, I mean, they are about gray areas, but movies like this, you need a good guy and a bad guy, I think.
Yeah, it's intriguing to see how they handle it. What did I see? Mark Hamill said he read the script and he was stunned, and I tend to believe what he says. It's not like some PR thing, but and was it he said that he fundamentally disagrees with everything Ryan wrote about Luke in the script, which is I doubt Disney were too pleased that he said that. I mean, he went on to say that once he talked it out and stuff, he saw the side. But when he first read it, he was quite taken aback. Yeah, that's the thing. It's the excitement of not knowing where the fuck they're taking it. Even the trailers are hinting at it, but it feels quite open.
And where's your like if you had to bet everything you had on where it's going. Where's it going?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
What are you most confident in from what you've seen? You know what? It's probably going to be this.
I can't do that. That's the cool thing. I can't. There really is no, well, obviously this is going to happen.
Mm.
I haven't got that answer. I haven't got that theory. I mean, I have theories, but they're just, things that I think could happen, could be cool, but I really don't have a bearing on anything concrete, I don't think. There'll be a lot of conflict.
Yeah. I hope it's
things that are not going to go the way you think.
Yeah, I hope Ryan Johnson. Yeah. Who's writing 9? Is it JJ?
I'm not sure. It's not Ryan though, that's for sure. I'd say one thing I'm pretty certain of is that at the end of the film, I'm probably going to feel like I've been punched in the gut. There's got to be some kind of big time cliffhanger that isn't just what's going to happen next, but you're reeling from what's happened. Force Awakens was a great cliffhanger with the promise of more, but I feel like this will be if they follow that trend, then it will be it's a second act of a 3-act story. So there's got to be shit's going to go down, and it's not going to be pretty, and it's got to it's got to set up the final chapter.
Works for James Bond. Bond is a completely different beast. There's been several Bonds, so yeah, another recast isn't that hard to be fine with, but no, just no to recasting Leia. Carrie Fisher's Leia, period, no recasting.
Yep, it's just too iconic, and
too many generations covered.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I found Andy Serkis disappointing in Awakens. He would need a lot of beefing up. Beefing up.
Well, I liked him. But there wasn't much to go off of, and now we're going to see him in the flesh, which will be a different kind of experience, I'm sure. But I think Serkis is great, so I'm really looking forward to Snoke. I'm still looking forward to see more of him and just getting a closer look. Just the character design for one thing, but also who this guy is and what he's all about.
I'm a little flustered at the first teaser. That line wasn't the way we had it in the first teaser. Have you felt it?
Oh yeah.
That was an incredible. That was just marketing genius. But damn it, Luke's line in Jedi must be. Luke's line in the Jedi must is just what? Luke's line in the Jedi must is just like Luke retelling the line Kylo Ren said to him, must end. Oh, okay. Luke's line in the Jedi must end is just like Luke retelling the line Kylo Ren said to him. Whew. She sells seashells by the seashore. Are you seeing that Movie Mania comment? Well, let me.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Maybe my listexia is taking over, and I
couldn't.
just can't.
I don't know.
I'm sorry, Movie Mania. You're going to have to reword that. Luke's line in the Jedi must end is just like I'm going to say retelling the line that Kylo Ren said to him. Yeah, fuck it. Sorry, Movie Mania. Try again. I'm excited to see what Ryan Johnson is directing it. He made some great movies like Looper and Brick. I haven't seen Brick. Looper's incredible.
Yeah, I love Looper. And he did some of the best episodes of Breaking Bad too.
A good point. Yes, yes.
I mean, even if you didn't like the Fly episode, you got to admit that I think the second to last one was fucking incredible.
Put quotes around Jedi must end. The delay sucks. Ryan Johnson's. It's like you said. He was done months ago. It looks really, really decent. Just from what we've seen. How long do you think they spend on Rey's training, or whatever the shit that is in the beginning?
Well, it looks like we're probably going to get maybe an hour, not, all told, but an hour into the film, perhaps, before shit starts kicking off from Luke and Rey's perspective. Clearly, Rey goes to the crate, I think, the planet, the kind of salt flats planet. I saw some behind the scenes shot, and she was there, and that must be where the where Snoke's throne room is, I think.
Oh, okay.
I'm guessing anyway. Just it seems like those are the two primary locations from the film. I'm intrigued to see where Luke is going to play into it in the second half, because we haven't seen much of that.
Dead. You'll be dead.
that I wouldn't like. If they had to kill him off halfway through, I wouldn't like that. But I'd be cool with it if it's towards the end and if it helps to push everything else forward. I mean, Luke's my favorite character. He's not the best character by any stretch, but he's my favorite character, and so I'm hyped for that alone. And I'd be okay with him dying as long as it's done in a way that really just boosts everything else. And
what if he Obi-Wans it and just falls into his clothes in front of Rey or some shit? No.
Yeah, that would actually be really, if like he finally pulls out that green lightsaber and it's like fucking yes, and then he just holds it in front of himself and just doesn't do anything. No. That would be frustrating.
Yeah.
And he could easily come back in 9 as an Obi-Wan like. Although I guess if he gets killed, then he might not be able to. Oh no, because Qui-Gon got killed and he found a way to filter his essence through, didn't he? So
did he though?
Yeah, that's how Obi-Wan learned to do it. Remember the end of episode 3 when Yoda says, "I got in contact with an old friend of yours," or something like that.
Qui-Gon. Yeah. Yeah. It is strange. It does seem like, if I had to pick one thing that looks like it's from the third act, I would say it's that Rey being friggin' tortured upside down thing. Otherwise, I don't know. Because the Force Awakens trailers, there wasn't a lot of it was from the third act.
True. Yeah.
Like all that snow shit. That was the end.
Right, yeah. Well, we've seen a space battle in the trailers, and we've seen that Walker battle that goes down. I think, yeah, because in that they got the new version of the AT-ATs.
Yeah, with the club feet.
Yeah. And we see Finn flying a ship in that, and he's wearing that jacket. But we also see him infiltrating some First Order thing with like the outfit and stuff. Mm-hmm. That's probably at the end, maybe, when he fights Phasma, so...
Right.
I reckon there'll probably be that kind of salt flats battle maybe in the middle. And at the end, we got a space battle going on, as well as down on the planet with Rey and Snoke and Kylo and Finn up on that Star Destroyer, whatever it is, fighting Phasma, something like that. I don't
know. Movie Mania. Luke's line, "The Jedi must end," might just be Luke retelling a line Kylo might have said to him when he betrayed Luke. Apologies for the typo. Realize I made it until you pointed it.
It's time for the Jedi to end. Yeah.
Ooh,
interesting.
Oh, what? How about this? I just thought of this as I was reading that. What if Luke does his heel turn? What if Luke? What if Rey's got to save the day and Luke's actually a little bad?
It's possible. They could go that route. I don't see it happening.
That'd be a badass ending. I mean, I really can't see it happening, but
yeah. I mean,
you need JR calling that though.
You gotta fuck off.
Luke just used a saber on Rey.
God is my witness. Luke Skywalker sold the devil. Sold his soul to the devil himself.
Just Kylo just standing there like Kevin Owens when Triple H pedigreed what's his face a couple of months, a year ago, 2 years ago.
Things will never be the same. Damn you!
him straight to hell. But yeah, I think that's a little obscure, less possible, but it would be pretty.
As a Mark Hamill fan, as a Luke Skywalker fan, I'd love him to be even more of a big focus. But for the story, I don't know if it quite works because But I like the idea of him being this kind of tortured soul who's just completely withdrawn into this isolation and guilt and all that stuff. So yeah. But I do feel like him being Rey's father would add so much to the story. Even if people think it's predictable, I think that it could just add a lot of weight to what probably already be a weighty story anyway, because I think Ryan's a pretty damn good writer. So.
Luke does look crazy in the trailers.
A little bit.
Tortured. I would say a little.
Yeah. No,
I've
crazy.
seen some shit.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to give us the Knights of Ren stuff? Like they all of Rey's visions in Force Awakens. It was like, man, why can't we just see more of all of that? All of it.
It's right. I don't know what it is with that because it doesn't seem like they're around. Who were they? I mean, were they his fellow students who he got to join with him in this little crusade? I mean, Snoke was saying, was it even you, the master of the Knights of Ren? He makes it seem like it's this legendary thing, but it surely would have only been around. Or maybe it's Snoke's creation. I don't know. Maybe it's something he was running in the background. And
well, there's that shot of Luke's hand or a mechanical hand coming out of a burned down something. Could that be it? Maybe, possibly, sort of.
Be what?
And do what?
Be what?
The end of like Kylo turning on Luke with. Isn't this the story that Kylo has his disciples when he betrays Luke?
Yeah, that's what it looks like from the vision.
So maybe a flashback or some shit.
Well, actually, it's not. Well, yeah, no, it is. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I mean, it looks like we see more of that vision in Episode 8, at least from the trailers.
Here's one. How do you think they open Episode 8?
With Luke and Rey.
So, like, presto. Meanwhile.
Well, actually, no, I'm not sure. Because how do you transition? Because they've always had the crawl and then the pan down.
Right.
Pan down to the planet and then
there's her holding the lightsaber. Yeah. Like, come on.
Well, he revealed the first word of the film. Was it last night?
On Star Wars. Well, wait, what?
Ryan on Jimmy Kimmel revealed the first word.
Which is?
Fuck.
Is it fuck? That'd be awesome.
It's
burn there one up front.
Weir, as in W-E-R-E, Weir.
Oh.
So that makes me feel like it's not going to open with that scene, maybe. So maybe I don't know.
We're a lot alike, you and me.
I always thought maybe because people complained about it, perhaps it would open with like Han's funeral or something, like some sort of gathering on the Resistance thing, and then we cut over to Luke and Rey a few moments later. Holding the lightsaber.
Previously on Star Wars.
I read that there's some dialogue where Luke says to Rey, "Who are you?" which is interesting.
Yeah. I bet it's again fancy editing. I bet it's him saying, "All right, now who are you?" and challenging her like, "I'm your granddaughter or whatever.
Well,
I'm Rey Skywalker."
If he is her father, I think that should be how it plays out. Where he's like, "Who are you?" and just plays coy to. I mean, if he is trying to protect her, then he'd probably keep that up. But if it's going to be that he's her dad, it should be saved off to near the end of the film as some reveal, but done in a different way, obviously, than Empire Strikes Back.
Surely an evil Luke being Ren's dad is just going down the Vader Luke route again. Nope. And it disappeared. I was reading it and it got disappeared. All right. All I know is that shit will get pretty emotional since this is Carrie Fisher's last performance. Yeah, I agree with you there. Anytime she's on screen, it'll probably be a little hard to get through. They will open Episode 8 with Kylo Ren crashing on the island Luke and Rey are on. See, that'd be neat if they do the typical, stars, ship flying, but it's Kylo's ship, and then we somehow cut to Luke and Rey doing their, here, take this. And then
She dive bombs the island.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
take the audio from the game. Die, die, die.
Whoop whoop, pull up. Whoop whoop, pull up. Yeah, Kylo just 9/11 into that island. I could say that because I'm a New Yorker.
Yeah.
How about future movie where they explore the whole Force Ghost thing in more detail? Maybe if we lose somebody here.
I don't know. It's possible. I mean, they're gonna be milking that Star Wars IP for as long as possible. So anything you could, probably get a movie about blue milk in 20 years.
Oh, the origins, what power it has. Episode 8 will open with Luke asking Rey, "Where's my hand?"
Yeah, that was a popular meme. It was like there was a hand.
All right, you got the thing that I was holding. Now, what about the other part?
I love how they handled the lightsaber in The Force Awakens, where she's just like, a good story for another time. And everyone was so pissed off, like, how did she get this thing? It fell out of the thing. It's like, who cares? Obviously, some fucking junk worker picked it up, and it's been going through the black market. It is what it is. Like, do we really need to see the, Oh, we're in the middle of battle right now, but let me tell you. So there was this guy on the Aquilai, and
Was it 2 years ago? No, I think it was 3 years ago. It's not
like the Ant-Man scene was like, well, I was talking to this guy, and
yeah, just too much focus on all that weird stuff, man. Like, all right, so what? Can it be disappointing, Luke? Are we setting ourselves up for failure
here? No, I'm willing to accept that it will, it could be disappointing, for sure. There's always that possibility.
How?
If they make her Leia's daughter, I think that harms the story and the previous film, for the reasons I've already talked about. If it goes too far in the wrong direction, there's making films, telling stories, it's never a done deal,
During that fight in the sand, somebody just says, "Now this is pod racing." You're gonna get us both killed.
If maybe they start training and Luke's like, "Oh, looks like it's about to rain. Let's go inside." When it rains here, it gets very, very dangerous. Suddenly, like, Mark Hamill just loses the facility to act for the rest of the film.
Very, very dangerous. Yeah, I guess Rian Johnson's just, yep, that's good. Next.
Are you Luke Skywalker? We need you to come back and fight with the Resistance. Are you an angel? What? An angel. I hear the deep space pilots talk about them. They say they're the most beautiful things in the world, I think.
Yeah, Rian Johnson. Cut. That's good.
So performances could be lackluster. I've heard, I won't say where I heard. I've heard that someone who's seen it that thinks that it's funnier than The Force Awakens. Digest that for a second.
Really?
Yeah, apparently there is a lot of levity. Apparently there's a fair amount of humor to go along with that. And again, we're dealing with the longest.
Force Awakens was a breath of fresh air comedically.
Yeah, so and I think Ryan's even said that he's really tried to, balance it out a little bit and have those fun moments. I mean, comedy is very, it could hit or miss, but it seems like they're going at least for a really entertaining film as well as the darkness. It's not going to be this, and I think it is the longest Star Wars film, so there's certainly time to do that.
We're fine. How are you?
Shut him up or shut him down.
How about a future movie where they explore? Oh, yep. Episode 8. Yep. Nope. I want more Boba Fett. He's always been one of my favorites, although he's only had like 10 minutes of screen time throughout all the movies. LOL. Boba Fett versus Captain Phasma. Have you heard anything about cameos, Luke? Asks Dennis K. 1970.
Yoda's in it. What?
Is that really what you've heard?
No.
Oh, confirmed.
Well, they said that Yoda's on that rock. Like, look, you can clearly tell that Yoda's perched on that rock. And then we saw the second. Then we saw the second trailer, and it's just a rock. Explain that, people. Well, no, I haven't heard anything about cameos. I think that we didn't really have cameos in Force. Well, I guess we had the Obi-Wan little nugget.
Ray.
Yeah.
These are your first steps. Do you ever see the story of Obi-Wan? Excuse me. Ewan McGregor explaining how he did the recording.
Yeah.
And he's like, wait, I have to get back into character. Get back into character. You said 3 words. Ray.
It's funny though because we hear the Ray, and it's Alec Guinness. You can hear it's Alec Guinness, and then these are your first steps. It just sounds like Ewan McGregor saying these are your first steps. It doesn't sound like his Obi-Wan from it to me, but there you go. I don't know. A lot of people want Anakin. It's so strange. There's been this weird kind of resurgence of prequel fan. I guess it's the people who saw the prequels as kids have now grown up. That's the thing.
Right. They're in their 20s now. Yeah.
Right, and there's bring Hayden Christensen back. Oh my God, he's at Celebration this year. It must mean he's going to be. Yes, we need that. No,
Hayden Christensen of all people wouldn't.
Yeah, that's what people are lobbying for, and it's very strange, right?
Like Luke would be like, "You're not the person I remember." The guy I saw was really old.
Oh wait, no, you were the creepy guy who was smiling at me after my dad died.
Oh, your younger dad? I see.
Although I have a different. I feel like it was an older man. I mean, this must be the Mandela effect. I'm sure I remembered it differently, but something's crossed over along the way. I don't know.
Yeah, that's funny. IMDb has Tom Hardy as a stormtrooper.
Yes.
Yeah.
You do not hear about who else is in it?
He has Adrian Edmondson just listed as rumored.
Huh.
Well, Daniel Hammond saying Daniel Craig was a stormtrooper. Simon Pegg was the junk dealer dude.
1/4 portion. Yeah, apparently there's an elevator scene with Finn, and the stormtroopers in the elevator are Tom Hardy and the 2 princes. Was it Prince Harry and Prince?
Really?
What's the other one? Prince Harry and Prince fucking.
It's your country, asshole.
Yeah, that's just...
I refuse to learn until they get their boner from me.
Yeah, I forgot the other one. I really forgot the other one.
William,
yeah, William and Harry, yeah, and Tom Hardy for some reason. So there's 3 confirmed cameos at least.
Oh yeah, Kevin Smith has a voice in Force 2. Yeah, he's one of the stormtroopers at Maz's castle, which has got a lot of perches to shoot from in Battlefront 2 for the record. Yeah. Is that really it? Tom Hardy and the princes? Well,
in that scene, yeah.
Yeah, for now, like that's kind of the fun part. Is oh, what about Benicio del Toro? We've seen nothing of him, and this is where I hate knowing stuff in advance, because like in the back of my head I'm like, all right, so who's Benicio del Toro going to be?
Right.
And like it would be so much nicer to just experience that, like you know, if the original trilogy were around now, people are like, oh yeah, Billy D. Williams is in Jedi. Like, wait, what? Who's Billy D going to be? And like, you just when you're watching, you're just waiting for it. So like,
yeah, I know. It's that age we live in now. It's craving for information and so on. I mean, I can't remember when I said it, but I said at some point, wouldn't it be great if the trailer was just The Last Jedi this December? Like, they just showed nothing. You know, how fucking cool would that be? It would be there's no way they could ever do it. They could never get away with that. But it'd be cool to just go in completely blind. I did that with Interstellar. Didn't watch anything. And it was pretty fucking cool. Because I hadn't seen any of that shit before. And it was like, wow.
If anybody's going to go scale it back, it might be Warner Brothers with some of their DC property.
Oh, yeah. That really hurt Justice League for me personally, because all of the jokes were in the trailers. So I didn't have a good time with the humor in that film. It was all right. I'd already seen it, so
I'm in no rush to see that movie. I still haven't. I have Wonder Woman sitting right there. I haven't watched it yet. No rush. Just no rush. I can wait on Justice League. See, if you remember Independence Day, people consider that to be one of the greatest, if not the greatest teaser ever. Just a shot of what is it? The Earth, and then the ship going over, and then kaboom on Washington. Independence Day coming this July. Hey, buy your tickets now. It's like that tease. The word tease. Too much. We need more Jar Jar, says Daniel Hammond. Gary Barlow from Take That is also listed as being in Jedi.
I think he might be in that elevator scene, yeah.
What's Take That? I don't know.
It's a popular pop band from the UK.
I see. Hey, Dino. Dino says, hey, if I limit the live stream. Wonder Woman's really good. You should watch it, CP. Yeah, I know. I know. I have War of the Planet of the Apes too that I've heard incredible things about. Which I'll probably watch first. I just
prioritize that one.
Yeah, when it comes to superhero stuff, I'm just like, why would I want to do that? Too much. Just way too much. And unfortunately, as much as we're fired up about Star Wars, when does it get to be too much? Like, do you think they'll ever go to 6, one every 6 months?
No, well, it's possible, I guess, and it's possible, but I think we're all right for now. I think post episode 9 is going to be the real testing ground of how fatigued we get with it, because with that you still have the potential promise of the Skywalker story. That's another thing. What did I think Mark Hamill said on Kimmel? Like, the film's about family, so they must be ripping off the Fast and the Furious films. if we're going by Dennis's what was that film he said that about? Guardians 2. He's like, I guess they're ripping off the Fast and the Furious movies.
Wait, Dennis said that?
Yeah.
Wait, I was living with him at that point.
Yeah,
Guardians is I saw both movies with him. Wait,
I'm sure he said that Guardians was. I want to find it now.
He said Guardians is like Fast and the Furious.
No, he said they're riffing on the family theme.
No, I think it is. Okay, yeah.
I'm sure. Actually,
you're paraphrasing, but yeah.
I'm not paraphrasing. Yeah.
Dennis straighten us out here, huh?
Yeah, I'm sure he will.
War and Dawn are both masterpieces.
Yep,
Apes. Yeah, No, I know. No, I just need to figure. I'm watching things on a shitty fucking television. Let me say that. I want to appreciate some things, and I have no excuse. I'll get to it. Before the end of the year, War of the Planet of the Apes is something I really want to watch. Way more than Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Dennis says, "Oh, haha, the family." Our delay must be bad. Yeah. So, are you? I meant to ask you something about Benicio del Toro, and I don't know what I want to ask you, because we don't really know anything. Like,
no, I think his character's name's DJ. That's all I've heard. That's all I know.
What if he is like a Lando type character in this, like, and we haven't seen anything? Like what if he's somewhat important or crucial to somebody's?
Well, it could play both ways. I remember when Max von Sydow was announced. It's like, holy shit, we got a proper like class actor in the film, and he's in the movie for like 20 seconds. Well, not 20 seconds, but we don't know the scale of the involvement, so it could be a minor thing, or it could be same with Laura Dern. I mean, she looks like she's in an official kind of role, on the good side. Could be a big part, might not be.
Maybe Laura Dern takes over when Princess Leia gets killed.
Potentially, yes.
All right. Well, I think we've run out of ground here. What do you think? Do you think it does 200 million in the States? Do you think people go crazy for it?
I don't think it'll do as well as The Force Awakens. I think that
Force Awakens is like 250, I think.
mm, generally overall, I don't know about opening weekend or whatever, but I think that the excitement of that Force Awakens release was just unmatched, or will be unmatched. Even as a fan, just excitement wise, taking away all the money out of it, it's not the same. I'm excited about it, don't get me wrong, especially me being a fan of Luke, and we're now getting that film with him in it as a central actual talking character.
Mm.
I mean, you could argue he's a central figure in The Force Awakens, but he's not really in it. But yeah, I think that it's going to be a smash, obviously, but I don't think it will have the same, which is still fine. It's not like it's going to be a failure, but I don't know if they'll ride into the, to beat the record or anything.
Do you think people will enjoy it?
Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty confident in Ryan as a writer and director that it'll be a good film at least. And yeah, it's got potential, but again, I'm hesitant to really be like, wow, it's going to be amazing, because that's not the right way to approach anything. I don't think.
I think Lee will like it.
Yeah, probably. It depends on what makes a good title for the video,
Fucking Lee. Gray area. I forgot what was the last one, Lee. God damn it. Movie Mania says 180 million opening weekend. I'll do you one better. I think it's going to do. I think it's maybe 195, 200.
Yeah, so you're into the prediction game with all those figures, and that's just completely to me. So I wouldn't have any kind of bearing on standards to make a guess.
Yeah, I'm a little rusty too, so there's that. The thing I'm looking for, believe it or not, I'll take the unpopular opinion. I really want to see what happens with Kylo. I really, really liked where he is so far.
Yeah,
like the fact that he killed his father. He seems a little.
Well, I mean, I was kind of like, oh, I love the mask, and it looked like he left it, but we see it in some of the trailers or whatever, but it seems like he smashes it. So we get that very clear just image of him smashing that helmet, like just annihilating it, which is, to me, obviously that
Could
mask
be symbolic.
Well, yeah, obviously, but it's he was posturing, in The Force Awakens. He had this hero worship of Vader. That's what that was, and I love that reveal when he takes the helmet off and it's this kind of flowing black hair, this pretty face, Yeah, and be like, oh, it's just a little bitch. No, like that's a cool kind of contrast. I like it. And but yeah, so clearly he's turning his back at least on that side of his persona. But how much further does he take that turning back?
Right.
Will he follow through on what he started? It's yeah. I mean, he's the most interesting character of the new characters, at least.
Yeah, yeah. I would say, deepest as far as hills and valleys of
that's a lot of conflict, and Rey's gonna go through a lot, but he's gonna probably go through more. But well, he has done, killing his own father. That's pretty heavy shit.
It's like you said though, if he goes full bore and takes out Leia, that's like in a land of Star Wars. You have Maul, Vader, Boba Fett somewhere in the middle. I don't know what, and then that's pretty ballsy. Last Jedi will definitely do better than Justice League. Haha. Yeah. I think it'll crack that 98 million opening weekend. I think it already is probably at 98 million.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
In pre-sales.
Never experienced that until The Force Awakens. Just mental.
What, pre-sales?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd never had to book a film in advance until that episode 7 came out.
Yeah. Do you have a story to tell? Why I'll find you what our seat arrangement looks like in the States.
And what do you mean?
Just buy me time if you can.
Okay. I can talk till the cows come home about Star Wars, but it's hard to just jump into anything randomly.
Well, your experience for Force Awakens, the pre-sale, and having to deal with the,
All right, yeah. Well, I guess I was eager to see the midnight screening, and I was like, well, I don't have to pre-book. Obviously, that's just America going crazy. But then one of my friends was like, well, they're pretty much sold out already. So we had to jump on the ordering it, which I just never experienced before. I'm sure it's happened and has done for many years, but to me, it just seemed like the building the hype, tickets on sale now, 2 months in advance, really, hyping it up. And they're doing a good job. It's show business, and they're doing all they can, even if it is resorting to the stuff they did in the trailer with the potential misdirection. But so yeah, and that's another thing where people saying, "Oh, that shot with Rey and Kylo, it's different locations and whatnot." Definitely possible, but that could be an inkling of where the story's going. But yeah,
I'm trying. I'm sorry.
It's all speculation, and you can just talk yourself in circles. But yeah, I don't like to really map out too much, like what I think is going to happen. It's just ideas. I'm looking forward to hopefully being surprised.
Is there anything you've heard that you kind of hopes happens?
I heard an inkling somewhere of Luke taking on the Knights of Ren, and honestly, just any Luke taking on someone, I want to see that. I want to see him in action again. But I also think that it might be more appropriate to not show that, to have him in that kind of Yoda kind of thing where he doesn't even need to do that. Feels like that's more appropriate to the character. But as a fan, deep down, I would love to see him.
What about like a 2-on-1 type deal?
Yeah, that could be possible. That's another thing I'm excited about is lightsaber duels. We haven't seen any in the trailer whatsoever. We at least saw a snippet of it in The Force Awakens, and I've got to bet there's at least one, if not two. And
Okay, so dark gray means purchased already. This is what the 7 p.m. show on the 14th looks like. That is as good as sold out, if you ask me. There's a bunch of onesies. The front row, you can get some seats there. I mean, that's ridiculous. It's 2 weeks away.
Yeah, well, it's funny. The tickets went on sale here like October, maybe, if not early November. No, I think it was October actually. And I thought, okay, I want to book my thing just so just in case. But it's Norway, it's like when you're Star Wars fans. It was almost completely booked, like 2 minutes after they went on sale.
What?
I'm telling you. And the only way that it could have happened is that A, everyone was on the website at 10 a.m., or two, people physically went to the cinema an hour earlier because it went on sale an hour earlier in person. So, I mean, there was
crazy.
There was about, I guess, maybe 100 seats, and there's probably about 20, 30 left when I booked. So I got like an okay seat, in terms of. But yeah, I have a decent seat, and I'll be going to see it on the 13th of December.
7 o'clock show at midnight. What is it?
10 a.m.
On the 13th?
Yes.
Oh my God, that's like 5 a.m. here.
Yeah.
Not fair.
Yeah.
Not fair.
So I'm gonna do my own live stream on the 13th when no one else has seen it. I'm gonna spoil the entire thing.
That'd be awesome.
Everything.
That'd be awesome. Yeah. It's not fair. Dennis says he doesn't currently have a ticket, but I bet I can still, all caps, get my preferred seat at the very first screening here.
Yeah, I heard VidMe was a really good option for videos too.
Fucking VidMe. Poor Dennis. No, Dennis, I thought Rogue One was a little tight for us when we went. It wasn't perfect, but I remember it being a little. It wasn't full. He says 4:30 on the 13th, not even half sold out. Is that the first show, Dennis? 4:30 on the 13th? The interesting thing that they do in Denmark, Luke, is they have seat pricing.
Jesus.
If you have a different type of seat, it costs different. Do you guys
Right.
have that there in Norway?
There's regular, normal, and then but they have like a deluxe wider seat or something with a little table thing. That's about it. It's just like the premium seats, but there's no like differentiation of placement or anything.
Yeah, our theaters are just separate. Like you can go to the old danky theaters that still have the regular seats and just do it the way they did it in the 1900s and just pick the seats at will, or these new theaters, which I think it's the future of cinema as far as I'm concerned. They have these recliners and hot food and all this crazy shit, and the theater's got to make money, man, because the movies aren't the attraction anymore. You gotta get asses in the seats even if the movie sucks. So they're trying.
It ain't asses anymore. It's just the full body. Everyone's horizontal.
Yeah. Just, can't tell me how easy it is to just nod off when the movie's garbage. And Dennis says, yes, that's the first showing, 4:30. Even that's 10:30 here. You guys are gonna have enjoy it. Get those reviews out. You're gonna have a lot of dirt on us. Luke, any last words for The Last Jedi before?
I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna probably be doing a bunch of videos on my channel before the film comes out, but again, excited, but I don't want to go in feeling too comfortable.
Do you have any more countdown videos scheduled before then? The road to, excuse me.
Yeah. Once I've finished my Asian cinema bullshit, I'll be doing
this bullshit that I'm stuck on.
Yeah, I have a few more planned for sure. And then obviously the initial reaction video, which will be going up on the 13th, no doubt. Sans spoilers. Yeah.
Sweet. Well, thanks for joining me, Luke.
That's right.
I'm sure we're going to talk about it post-release.
Yeah. No doubt.
At some juncture, somewhere on somebody's channel. But yeah. So for Luke, who's over at Razorwire Reviews, or if you're into the Star Wars gaming universe, Razorwire Plays, or is it Razorwire Reviews Plays?
Yeah, second one.
Razorwire Reviews Plays.
Yeah.
In the play area.
Usually they're playing Battlefront.
Yeah, so he's quite good. He's probably 3 times ahead of me as far as whatever the score system is. Although I did buy a lot of crystals, so I'm in good shape. Say good night, Luke.
Good night, Luke.